What's going on, you guys? It's Andre here from Quicks Money. Today I want to share with you something that's pretty concerning in the Bitcoin charts. Now before we get into the video, please keep in mind I'm not a financial advisor. This is only my personal opinion. I use technical analysis to make these predictions. Please do your own research before making any investment decisions. If you guys like my content, please like and share, comment, and subscribe. And don't forget to hit the bell notification. And without further ado, let's hop into the charts. Okay, so what's concerning to me about the Bitcoin charts right now is the weekly candle has a very strong wick rejection here. This is not what a typical ascending triangle breakout is supposed to be looking like. Typically, we see a big move to the upside with high volume, right, as we saw here. But we don't see that here. We just see it grinding at this top level here, and it's kind of like topping out. And, you know, this wick is not looking very good, especially on a weekly chart. The volume just isn't there to continue pushing the price up. So I think we are a little bit overbought right now. On the daily time frame, I'm generally losing confidence in Bitcoin, and we do see a bullish, we do see a bearish chart pattern here forming. It's not pretty. The upswing was not strong at all. We hit maybe a 65,000-ish area, and we just don't see that buying pressure pushing to the upside. You know, that really concerns me, especially if you look at the weekly time frame, right? Strong wick rejection. These are not good signs. I don't have that much confidence that we're going to continue to explode up in price, right? I have the volume indicating that there's not a lot of buying pressure. We have the strong wick rejection on the weekly candle on an ascending triangle, which is extremely bullish, right? That's not what a breakout's supposed to look like. So these are all like telltale signs that maybe, you know what, a correction is imminent for Bitcoin, and that's okay. That's healthy. There's nothing to be worried about. Now I want to show you something a little bit different. So I am showing you guys a logarithmic chart. So right now we're looking at a logarithmic scale of Bitcoin. Now what I did do is I drew the blue lines here, which indicate when the halving occurred for Bitcoin. And I started to draw these curves acting as support at the point of the halving. So we have at least 2 points of strong support, and that's how I kind of drew my support curves. Same thing here, at least 2 touch points here at the beginning, and then it drew up, and then at least 2 touch points here, and in the beginning at least drew up. This one was a little bit more challenging to draw because I needed to determine like how far away from the halving will this curve be, so from this point to this point. So what I did basically was I measured how long did it take from the halving in the previous bull cycle to reach the peak, and it was approximately 539 days. So I'm going to use at least that. So if we were to draw here and we were to draw around 539 days, so yeah, roughly around there we could see the high point of Bitcoin's current bull cycle. I think it's going to be longer. Why is this? Because we see that the time from the halving to the cycle top has increased in duration. So the first one here is 385 days. Then this one here was around and then this one here was around 350-ish, 339 days. And now this one here, we can assume that it's probably going to be longer than 359 days. So let's be conservative and say it's going to be at least the same amount of time frame as the previous bull cycle. So roughly around here, October or September is when I think we're going to start to see the end of the bull cycle. So that's the point of reference I used to draw my curve support line. Now this top curve resistance line here, I think it could indicate that, you know what, perhaps we are due for a correction, right? And every time this support band has been, every time this resistance band has been touched, we did see a retracement down. And, that's evident here and evident here. Now there's another thing I want to be pointing out is what are pi cycle tops? Now this indicator was designed to help identify when we could see local tops. Now we're looking at the pi cycle top here, and what it indicates is when you see this moving averages cross, we are at a local top area, right? So we see a cross here, local top, and then it retraced. Again, same thing happened here, local top, and then the bear market started. Same thing here, right? Cross and then pump down. We have the exact same indicator flashing here, right? We have the two moving averages cross, and that in conjunction with this resistance band, I think we are due for a correction. And I think we are going to see something similar to what we saw in 2013, where we have one top and then retracement and then the final top. And it makes sense here, right? We are quite far away from the support curve, so I wouldn't be surprised hitting the resistance band and we are bound to return to the support curve. So I wouldn't be surprised if we do find resistance here and then we start to pull back and get a nice healthy retracement all the way down to this buy region here. Now why is this my buy region? Well, this is an area of support and resistance. So on the weekly time frame, this is an area of support, and also here this is an area of support, but I'm also using my moving averages in conjunction with that. So let's hide the pi cycle tops and just look at our moving averages. So historically, a bull cycle respects the 20 period moving average. I mean, it did in the last bull cycle, but in the cycle before that, it did respect it most of the time. But this mid cycle pullback, it did break through the 20 period moving average and it found support at the 35 period moving average. I'm going to use this bull cycle here back in 2013 as reference to our current one. And maybe we could expect the price to hit the 20 period moving average and also the 35 period moving average. And lo and behold, that does coincide with the support and resistance drawn on our weekly time frame. So I could confidently say that between these two moving averages is a dynamic buy region, and also using our support and resistance way of technical analysis, this is also a static buy region as well. Now this curve is not exactly drawn on perfectly, right? We don't really know how this curve can be drawn exactly, right? It could be like moved like this, or it could be even shifted a little bit closer, right? It's relative. It just gives us a general guideline of what we could expect the price to do. Now, I mean, there is an area of confluence here, right? We could see price just go down, maybe to hit this level and then go back up. Maybe that could be a possibility. Maybe we'll see it grinding at the top here for a little bit and then pull back, or maybe we're just going to see a huge flash crash and then it's going to be, an instantaneous, 10, 20, 30% dip, right? It's not uncommon to see that in Bitcoin. Now, how am I going to play this? I personally have exited all my positions, considering that the breakout is not looking like what a proper breakout is supposed to look like, as previously mentioned in the earlier part of the video. I am now biding my time. I'm waiting for this pullback to happen. I'm pretty certain that the pullback will happen. Like, more than likely it is possible, and we have to be prepared for that, right? We are quite far away from our moving averages, and we can even see from past historical performance, every time we veered away from our moving averages, we've come back down to test it, right? This is true in the 2013 and the 2017 bull cycle. Here we are extremely overextended from our moving averages, plus we are hitting the resistance curve, plus we're very far away from our support curve here as well. So, and then on top of that, you add in your pi cycle tops, right? There's just too many areas of confluence. Resistance band, pi cycle top, overextension from moving averages. So, I mean, Bitcoin can't just keep exploding up to the upside all the time, right? You got to think, as a trader, do they want to purchase Bitcoin at an expensive price? Probably not, right? Another thing to consider is Walmart announcing their Bitcoin buy in May. Now, a big player like Walmart, do you think they want to buy Bitcoin when it's expensive? I mean, a player as influential and as big of a whale as Walmart is, I think they're going to do what's in their best interest, and perhaps the market is going to pull back, and then that's when Walmart is going to take advantage of cheaper prices and purchase in May. Thinking in terms of being an institution or having that kind of buying power, would you buy Bitcoin at this overextended price here? I wouldn't. That's not something smart to do. I would wait for the retracement to happen, and we haven't really seen a significant retracement yet this bull cycle. I think it's time. There's not enough buying pressure, and we have to be prepared for the price to come back down to this region. So, how would I trade this? I would start setting up some limit orders in this buy region, and cast my net like a fisherman. I'd wait for the fish, I'd wait for the price to hit this region, and then just start accumulating and collecting Bitcoin. Now, how long could this pullback last? Well, if we look at past historical performance and measure the time, yeah, it took about 27 weeks before we saw price break out to new all-time highs. Maybe that could be the same thing here. Let's see, 27 weeks, that would bring us to, it would bring us right to October. You know, perhaps this prediction of when the bull cycle will be finished might maybe be over here. I don't know, right? Only time can tell. I'm only really using past historical data to roughly predict conservatively when we could experience the time frames for these price action to happen. So I hope this video helps with your trading decisions, and I hope this gave you some clarity on what to expect in the future and future price action for Bitcoin. Please be careful when investing in crypto. It's a highly volatile asset, but hey, if you're on the right side of the trade, enjoy that. And I'll wrap up for today's video. I'll see you guys later. Peace.